Hey everybody, welcome to Comics with Bueller. As always, I'm Bueller. Today is episode 72 of the new Coffee and Comics Show. I'm not alone. As you can see, my good friend Bob is here. How you doing, Bob?
I am doing awesome. How about yourself, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm tired. It's been a long weekend. You know, I had a really fun event I was at called Comics Pro. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I'm kind of exhausted, to be honest with you. And can't find my regular glasses, so I'm wearing these fake white ones and stuff. They're okay, right?
They're okay. You look good, man.
All right. We always start off with the coffee that we're drinking, and the coffee is brought to you by Mocha Express, located in Milwaukee and Portland. And today, I just wanted a black coffee. I had to have just a straight black coffee to get me going. And so far, it's doing the trick. What about yourself?
Awesome. I'm drinking cold brew again, and I got some hazelnut sugar-free sweetener inside of it, and I got to tell you, it is really good.
Really good?
Really good.
You don't have the eggnog stuff like you lied about?
No, actually, the eggnog stuff was okay, and I didn't lie about it, but I got to tell you, their hazelnut sugar-free sweetener is 1,000 times better.
1,000 times better than the stuff you lied about? I
I
never saw it. They never offered it to me.
Have you gone there and asked?
I go there. They see me.
But you never asked.
I shouldn't have to ask.
Oh, is that right? Let's just bow down to the eggnog of Bueller.
Come on. We got a lot to cover today.
Yes, we do.
The main thing is we're going to announce the winners of our 2-year anniversary.
Yes.
We have all 4 winners. I actually got them written down on a piece of paper right here. Mm-hmm. We're going to announce those throughout the show, so we're going to make you watch the whole thing. Sorry. But there is 4 prizes. Let me show you the prizes really quick. The main ones right here, the Shannon Muir variant cover. This is his very first cover he ever did, and it's autographed by Shannon Muir. He sent that to us for the giveaway. We have some other giveaways. Midnight Vista number 2. This is autographed by Clara Meath. And Midnight Vista number 5, also autographed by Clara Meath. She is the artist of that book, one of my favorite books. Another giveaway is the print that's autographed by all the Image founders, including Todd McFarlane, Robert Kirkman, a bunch of other people. Who am I forgetting?
Mark Silvestri, Eric Larson, Jim Valentino. That's a giveaway. And then also we have the prize package from Max Pro Supplies. It's a $50 prize package. So we have 4 different giveaways. We're giving them away today. We're going to announce the winners. But like I said, you're going to have to wait and watch a little bit, and you'll find out. Let me go ahead and pull these down. Another thing I want to tell you, thank you so much to all the new patrons who are supporting the channel. We did set up a Patreon that started this year. Basically what it is, there's one tier for the Patreon. It's $4. It's the price of 1 comic book a month to help support the channel. It goes a long way. This is what I do. Bob has a real job. I do not. So if you'd like to support the channel, go ahead and sign up for the Patreon. The link is down below. Like I said, it does go a long way, and it keeps the lights on. It keeps things going. So thank you so much. At the end of the video, we will say thank you to everyone who signed up for the Patreon so far. I think we have over 20 people signed up. So that's amazing. That's
pretty cool, man. People like comic books, and they like to watch the videos that we talk about comics and kind of make ourselves look kind of dumb every now and then. So
that's why I'm here.
Works out pretty well. Let me go ahead and say this. The topic that we're going to talk about today is the key collector good or bad for the comic industry?
Yeah.
And before we get into that, we always do the first and final 5. So we're going to jump on that first. We're going to do our first 5 comics. I'll go ahead and start because I have mine up there right now. This is Wolverine number 1. This is the regular variant that you can get in the store. I say that because he has a very cool looking variant in his little stack right there. But this one's not bad. It's the Alex Ross one.
Yeah.
My next one here is Deceased number 5. This is the variant cover by Matina. And this was actually bought from TFAW on their website because they had another $1 sale.
Yeah.
And so that variant was $1. I pay a lot less for my variants than you do.
You do.
Yeah. Of course, I got to show this one because everyone wants to see it. It's the 89 of Batman. It's the first appearance of some lady's lips.
Yep.
And that's all it is.
And a new character called the Designer.
And the Designer, I guess he's in a computer screen or something like that.
Something like that.
I don't even know. I haven't even looked at it yet. And then I want to show these again. This is really cool. And this kind of goes back to the Comics Pro event that I went to this weekend.
This is Spawn 305, but this isn't really the main focus. As you can see, I don't know if you can, but the backing board is a different color. And I sent out a Instagram post a couple months ago, maybe not that long ago, showing this idea of different color backing boards. This is becoming a thing. These are actually going to be in production.
Yeah.
There's going to be different color backing boards. They're plastic, so they don't, the ink won't rub off onto the board or vice versa. Mm-hmm. They're going to be red and blue and black and other colors, but this is going to be a thing. This is a prototype. We showed them to a bunch of people at the Comics Pro event, a bunch of comic shops. They really liked them, and it's going to happen. So it's something I always wondered about, and I pitched the idea, and sound like it's moving forward, so I'm kind of excited.
Absolutely. I think it's a great way to be able to show off your keys inside of your collection as opposed to your normal books or maybe variant covers, and it really stands out and pops. So I think it's great.
I have this last one. This is a blue one. This is a Silver Surfer Black number 5. Has the blue backing board. But those are my first 5. So kind of cool. Some new ones. They're all new. I have some old ones in my final 5, so we'll go from there. All right, let me pull these down. You can go with your first 5.
Awesome. Well, I just, on my first 5, I just brought covers that I liked. And this one is Detective Comics number 1001. That's a David Finch cover.
I like that
I
one.
really like that. And then I got Absolute Carnage number 1. When I was going through the box, it just popped out at me, so I had to grab that one. Then I got Black Panther number 13. Here's got Captain America artwork by David Mack, which I really love.
He's your buddy.
He's my buddy.
Thanks for letting me take your picture with him.
I appreciate that.
That's all I was there for. Just take his picture.
Yeah, could you take a picture of me with a spy? I dug that. And then these next 2 covers are done by Clayton Crane. This is also Wolverine number 1 that just came out this week. This is the first kind of throwback cover, which I think is amazing. And then here's the Virgin cover, which is another play on it, and I just love this one.
Very cool.
And got this directly off of his website.
Wow.
There's my first 5.
Did you get the regular Wolverine as well?
I did.
So that's your reader copy.
That's my reader copy.
Well, those are pretty cool.
Thanks, man.
You're happy with that book?
I am very happy with that.
You read both stories?
I did.
You really enjoyed it?
I did.
You're going to add it to your pull list?
It already is. It's already added.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Marvel thanks you.
I thank Marvel.
Okay, so let me talk a little bit about the Comics Pro event really fast.
Sure.
I got to talk with literally hundreds of comic shop owners from around the world. Mm-hmm. New Zealand, Australia, the UK, here in the States. Awesome time. Love talking to these people. Some of them I was a little surprised, I'll be honest, probably shouldn't be selling comics. Didn't really seem like they were enjoying it that much.
Wow.
But for the most part, very positive experience. Mm-hmm. Not only that, I also got to meet with publishers. I got to meet with Marvel. I got to meet with Scout Comics. I met with Dynamite, a bunch of other publishers.
Wow.
There are going to be some changes to the Comics with Bueller channel for your benefit. We're going to be doing some more stuff, kind of partnering up with publishers. And it was a great time to interact with them. It's a one-on-one time. So in the near future, you might see some differences or some new type of shows. And I think you're really going to enjoy it. I know talking with Marvel this last weekend, that was awesome. And so we're going to be doing some stuff possibly with Marvel. Yeah. And that's very cool. And the discount code, the Bueller code, will be expanding to other websites. Right now it's good on Max Pro Supplies. You can enter Bueller, save 10%. That discount code will be good on other sites as well.
Wow.
So as soon as I get the details worked out, I will let you guys know. But great event, and there's an Australia store that I want to talk about. It's actually in the comments, so it's kind of cool. But let's go ahead and jump to our topic.
Yeah.
Like I said, our topic is the key collector good or bad for the comic industry? And the first thing I want to say is I am not affiliated with Key Collector. Mm-hmm. I had a few people ask me about that in the comments. I really don't have any desire to be affiliated with Key Collector. I know Nick. I consider him a friend. I've had him on the show before. Mm-hmm. I think I talked to him maybe twice last year. That's about it. Mm-hmm. But I've never really thought of this channel much of a speculation type thing. And I think in my eyes, the Key Collector app focuses more towards that. Mm-hmm. So it might not be a good fit. It'd kind of be like me
partnering up with CGC and grading when I don't have any graded comics.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Understandable.
So I want to put that out there, and that's why I wanted to pose that question, because I don't have a dog in the fight, and I want to be as unbiased as possible.
Sure. Do you use the app?
Oh, yes. Okay. I do use the app, and I'll kind of share my thoughts and stuff on it as well as we kind of get into these comments. But I just wanted to put that out there because I did have a few people ask.
Sure.
Bob, you were up first.
Yeah.
So put your glasses on, and you're reading the first one here.
The first one is from Snizzlepop. Thank you very much for your comment. He says, I use it on a daily basis to keep track of keys for my collection, especially when out hunting. I once got caught up in the panic and flurry to order whatever was alerted. Now, I use it as a tool to help dig in dollar bins, so it is a lot easier on my wallet and heart. I believe its intended purpose is born from good intentions. However, just like most apps, it can be used or seen as a tool of speculation evil. That's a great comment.
Sizzlepop, speculation evil. It puts it right out there.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this comment. I actually picked out all these comments because I really enjoyed everyone. And I'm trying to give everyone's voice a chance. People, whether they like it, whether they don't like it, I tried to put that in there, and we will talk about every aspect of that. There's a lot of speculation involved, like I said earlier. If that's something you're into, this app is for you. It has you covered and then some. I mean, that's what it does. Alerts all the time. It's there. It tells you what's going on. Speculation, this TV show or this book got option type thing.
Right.
And maybe that happens. I think when he said speculation evil, I've never seen speculation as evil, but you can get caught up in it.
Absolutely.
And it can be dangerous. And before you know it, you've bought all these books that you speculated on.
Right.
I speculate that this is going to be a good show. Mm-hmm. More likely, it's not going to be a good show. So speculation is rampant everywhere you look. Right. Okay? But the main thing is to be vigilant about what you do.
Absolutely.
This, like you said, is a tool, and that's kind of how I look at the Key Collector app. It is a tool for you to use. You don't have to use it. You could do your own research, but really, it's right there in the palm of your hand. So the convenience of having it there goes a long way. What's your first initial thoughts?
Well, I'm focusing on the fact that he calls it a tool of speculation evil. I do believe that it is a speculator's app. I mean, it's showing you all the keys that you should buy, things that are hot, things that are optioned, and those alerts do come. But just like anything else, I can't say enough how many times on this show that we've said, be careful of making emotional buys.
Yeah.
Be careful of hopping on something too soon. And be careful of when you have true FOMO. Because that is what's driving things more than anything else.
Yeah.
And if you have an app that's constantly hitting you with that, it's up to you to be responsible.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't want to call it an evil app.
Yeah.
But it does drive certain emotions,
Yeah.
and I think that's the issue he's talking about.
Well, they're providing you information.
Yeah.
On almost a daily basis. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with the more information you have.
No, absolutely.
Whether you use it or not, that's up to you.
Yeah.
But it's better to be informed than not informed.
Right.
That's kind of what I look at it. Let's jump to our first prize.
Oh, yes.
So you don't have to wait too long.
There we go.
So here's the deal. This is the first prize. This is the Max Pro Supplies $50 pack. And I'll go ahead and read the winner here. All you have to do is just send me an email, confirm that you're a winner. I'll send you a code or something like a password so we know it's actually you. I've actually had people try to take the credit for someone else's thing.
Wow.
So you got to be careful sometimes.
Yes, you do.
But the email is down below. It's BuellerComics@gmail.com. You just send me an email. We will ship this to you within the next couple weeks, and it'll be at your doorstep. But the very first winner for the Max Pro Supplies is, you want to read that?
Yep. The name is Dark Purple Gold Roses.
Dark Purple Gold Roses.
That's awesome.
I don't know who that is.
I've never
but
heard
it's
that
such
one.
a great name.
And I love it.
Yeah. So Dark Purple Gold Roses, you are the winner of the Max Pro Supplies $50 prize pack. So congratulations. Go ahead and leave a comment in this video and then send me an email. Like I said, the email is in the description of this video, and we'll get everything squared away.
I've seen that package. It's an awesome package, so congratulations.
Very cool. I'll probably throw some extra stuff in there as well. Depending on how much I can fit in the box, it'll be worth more than $50.
That's awesome.
So, okay, I got the next one here, and this one is by John Mahoney. And John says, I personally don't like Key Collector. App puts way too much hype into some obscure, maybe possible someday keys that I could care less about because I'm not a book flipper. It's silly to me how people get all hyped up looking for the first appearance of some nobody because Key Collector heard from some and so's third cousin's best friend's roommate's boyfriend that they'll maybe probably not be in a movie either this year or in 2079.
Love it.
I have found John kind of talks about the information that's provided as far as like a movie reference or a TV something in Hollywood. I've found that the alerts I get, for the most part, are pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I know there was a couple times, that it maybe didn't follow through or plans changed. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, what I see on there, as time goes on, it pans out.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty comfortable in saying that it's got a pretty good track record for something like that. Would you agree?
I would agree. Most of the things I see come across are, especially when they're talking about things that have been optioned, those are actual verified news stories, and that's what he's using. I don't think I've ever seen anything come across that was based upon a rumor.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's great to speculate on those, but until you actually have a verified story, you can't go off of it. And yeah. I do believe Nick is very diligent with that.
Yeah. I kind of like the obscure characters. Mm-hmm. Not because they're in a movie or nothing like that. I just like knowing obscure characters and where they're at. And that's kind of what I like about the Key Collector myself, is I can type in a Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man, and it'll show me all the keys in there of these random characters I didn't know about.
Right.
And I just like to have them. Not because if they show up in a movie or a TV show, that's not why I like it. But I just like to know where they are. I've done it a lot when I've actually made videos called Just the Keys. Mm-hmm. I use that app along with a few other things to put that video together to find these obscure characters.
Yeah, yeah.
Down the road, if they're ever used, it doesn't really matter to me. I just like knowing, because knowledge is important to have.
Sure.
So you'll never hear from these characters again, and a lot of times that's their first and last appearance. It's kind of neat to find them. So
sure.
I enjoy that part.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob, you're up next.
Yeah, the next one comes from Hugo Finch. Thank you, Hugo. He says, came back to collect, and thanks to Key Collector, I can choose the ones I really want. Best app, and he gives a fire sign, a thumbs up, and a jazz hands. He says,
that's what that is?
That's what that is, jazz hands.
Okay, I
right?
don't know.
Some people think it's praising, but anyway, jazz hands. Thanks for your videos. Really helpful as well.
Awesome. I think right now, as far as being a new collector, mm-hmm. it's probably with the stuff that's available to you, it's the easiest to get back into.
Sure.
Because of Key Collector, not just Key Collector, but there's other apps out there. I think CLZ
is
one. There was one called Kapow or something like that. I can't remember. I think it was on Apple or something like that. It makes your collecting a little easier to manage.
Yeah. I actually use both of them. I use CLZ to catalog my stuff.
Yeah, because you can put every book in there.
Right, yes. Right. And it's really cool because it's got a feature that you can, take your books. Like this book here has a barcode on it. And if I got a bunch of books with barcodes, I can take my phone and just run it over across them, and it just pops them all into the app. It's really easy to use. So I use that for logging all of my books, but then I use Key Collector to check out keys and see what's hot, what's not. And I also use it to help the comic book community too.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, it can be really helpful in that way.
Yeah. I like that. Like I said, I think for a new collector, I think the Key Collector app should be something you have right away. Mm-hmm. I don't look at the price. That's not when I look at the Key Collector app. I'm not looking at the price of the book.
No,
I'm just looking at what it says.
Yeah,
and I'm looking at if this is the first appearance of a character, or possibly this is a new story or something like that. That's what I'm looking for. As far as the three little prices that are on there, mm-hmm. I don't really pay any attention to those. That's not what I'm looking at it for.
Yeah. Usually, predominantly, what I'll use it for is, how I love to go to cons and get books signed by different creators. Yeah. There's a feature in Key Collector's app where you can look up the artist or writers, and it'll show you all the keys that those guys have done. And so, if I've got something that's not in my collection,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so you can definitely look it up by those people and see if there's books that you can take to have them signed. That's what I use it for a lot.
Very much so. Okay, you got this next one. This is one of my favorites.
Yeah, God Tank. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for the comment. He says, well, Mr. Roadhouse, you've done it again. Another great video and a great service to this community. I think the Key Collector app is awesome and a great tool to use in collecting comics. But being a new collector, I really don't use it because I'm still finding what I like to read. I'm not so much into the older stuff, but just digging the new stuff I've been picking up, especially the independent books like Boom Studios and Image. Thanks again, buddy, for all you do. And then he gives a praise, a big bang, a fist bump, and hashtag Roadhouse.
you just like getting those little...
I'll tell you, bam.
There you go. That's all. Well, God Tank calls me Mr. Roadhouse because I'm a huge fan of Roadhouse.
Oh, there you go.
The movie.
The movie.
I always say I went into that movie a boy and I came out a man.
Come on, man.
That's what that movie does for the young boy.
Right.
It's the best movie ever. So appreciate you calling me Mr. Roadhouse, God Tank. And he's actually doing some videos now. They're pretty good.
Oh, really? I gotta check that out.
Yeah, very good. I think he just did a cooking one, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
Yeah. Along with comic books as well.
Cooking and comics.
Now, he said that he's a new collector as well, and then he's like, he doesn't tend to use the Key Collector because he is a new collector. And I just stated the fact that if you're a new collector, you should be using it. So it's kind of to hear his response to it, and as far as stories, and he likes to read and get into them. I'm a reader first.
Yeah.
Just like him. That's why I get books. I'm a reader first. I enjoy the stories. I have actually found books on Key Collector that I wanted to read. So for that matter, like when I go and I look at the Keys of the Week that they put out, and it'll show all the books, and it will show one right off the bat, Kill Whitey Donovan.
Oh yeah, that's
I didn't even know about that book until I saw it in there, and it was a #1, and it was sitting right there, and it had a little passage about what it was, and it interested me.
Yeah.
I bought the book. I didn't like it. I mean, it was okay.
Right.
But I read the story, and I got my money's worth because I read the book. Okay, and that's the way I look at it. If I buy a book for cover price, and I read it, whether I like it, whether it's worth money down the road, I feel as though I got my money's worth.
Right.
So I do find some stuff on there that I wasn't aware of, and I enjoy that aspect. And they actually have a tab to where it is like independent books, I believe, that you can go and find.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of great stuff out there. But for a new collector, I was pretty happy to hear that he's loving the stories.
Yeah.
That's really important, man.
That's really important.
God Tank, thank you so much for calling me Mr. Roadhouse.
Come on.
And I'm glad you're enjoying reading the great stories, obviously by Boom Studios. I think he mentioned in here.
Yep. Boom Studios and Image.
Yeah, one of my favorites right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's good stuff.
Okay, I'm up next here by Roy Davis. It says, I use Key Collector to find obscure dollar bin digs. I'm not going to be dropping thousands for a first appearance, but I can find a $10 book for $1 to $2, and that makes my day. Obviously, those can be long holds as well.
Yeah, that's a great comment. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. I mean, Key Collector is really good at identifying first appearances of characters, some milestones and things like that. And they're not necessarily, especially when you're talking about dollar bin or 50-cent bin diving, they're not worth anything.
Yeah.
But some of these writers that come in will take characters from the past and make them new, and all of a sudden they pop, and next thing you know, that's the hottest thing on the planet. And for a book that you bought for 50 cents can all of a sudden start spiking.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool feeling.
Yeah.
And I think, people using it for that purpose, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Everyone knows I like my 50-cent books and my dollar books. And I've sat there with the Key Collector app and, believe it or not, looked through the new Warriors.
Right.
Which are plenty of new Warrior books to be had in those 50-cent or dollar bins. And I just typed it in the Key Collector, and the keys popped up.
Yeah.
Obscure characters. They're only worth maybe $2 at the most. But I flipped through that box, and I found a bunch of them. I would have passed them right by. And I like having just the story of those characters.
Yeah.
New character introduced. It makes me want to read the book and find out about that character. Like I said before, whether they make an appearance again, at one point, that creator had to come up with that character, and I like to see what they were thinking when they were doing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah. Okay. Looks like I am reading the next one as well.
All
and
right.
this one is, I like this comment.
All right.
So this one ties into the Comics Pro event kind of a little bit.
Sweet.
So this is from Mick
K, I believe, MIK space K, says, I am a recent user of the Key Collector app and really enjoy browsing older issues. Where I live in Sydney, Australia, there are only 2 comic shops and only one is close to me, which really sucks. I was there on Wednesday, a half hour after a new comics got released, to find out 3 of the comics I was after were completely sold out, including Batman 89. We should probably talk about that a little bit.
We should probably talk about it.
My problem is that resellers wipe out the shelves immediately after they're released. I do have a weekly pull list, but sometimes I enjoy purchasing a variant or browsing the shelves and picking up something that's interesting. Then I go on eBay to find 3-hour-old issues is selling for $100, which in my opinion is disgraceful. Rant over. Okay. First things first. He's in Sydney, Australia. Mm-hmm. He just said there's 2 comic shops there. I think I met one of those comic shops.
Oh, that's
I have
awesome.
their card right here. This is King's Comics. Mm-hmm. And I want to give a shout out to King's Comics, George. He is the manager or owner, I believe, of King's Comics. All the way from Australia. Came here to Portland, Oregon for this event. And I got to sit down and talk with him about being a comic shop owner and everything.
That's awesome.
So if Mick K, if you are familiar with King's Comics, and I'm pretty sure you are, because this gentleman said he was been there for 40 years.
Wow.
Selling comics. I feel your pain, my friend.
Yeah.
For one, they pay an exorbitant amount of price for their books because of the trade and everything, the shipping. Right. They're twice cover price all across the board.
Yeah.
If you're buying a DC Black Label look there in Australia, if it's $6.99, you're paying $14 for that book.
Yeah.
We talked about that on our episode, Are Comics Too Expensive? And somebody dropped a comment about you should be here in Australia where they're twice what the cover is.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel your pain. He enjoys the Key Collector app for browsing older issues. It's got tons. It's got them all. That's the thing. I can type in Thor. It's got all the Thor issues. Okay? Ones I've never heard of. Ones I'm interested in. It's got a full backlog of all the key issues for that book. That comes in really handy. And then it has the new books as well. Honestly, I don't know how Nick updates it as much as he does.
Right.
Because it's not like a set thing and you're good to go. It's something that has to be updated on a daily basis almost.
Right.
A lot of work goes into it. My hat's off to him for doing that. My hat's off to him for going back and providing the service for all these older issues that I would probably just pass off. Mm-hmm. Or just pass right on by. So he does a good job in that. Some of the stuff, people might say it's a little obscure, but if you didn't put it in there, you're going to hear from someone, how come that's not in there?
Of course.
I get that all the time.
Of course.
So I think that's probably why he puts that in there. And there's probably stuff that's in there there's probably stuff that's in there. There's probably stuff that's not in there that should be in there.
Should be in there.
And throughout time, I think that stuff will come on board.
Now, what it does, for the industry is, as far as how prices go up or down, or what it does for shops and having books there or not there, that's been going on even before Key Collector Out came around.
Yeah,
and I don't think
it does add to it.
It does.
Let's just be honest.
I'm not trying to let them off the hook in that way.
Yeah.
It does add to it. I would agree with that. But again, I would just say that in anything, be informed.
Yeah.
Be informed. I mean, if you're finding out after the fact and then trying to go out and get something, and there's going to be a lot of people out there who were informed, and they're going to grab it before you did, and that's just a fact.
Very much so. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to give away our second prize.
Yes!
Our second prize. I got the name right here. The second prize, I put them down here on the floor, was the Midnight Vista number 5, signed by Clara Meath. Gotta get that right. Midnight Vista number 2, also signed by her. And the winner of these are, let's see, I got them right here. Cody Evans. Woo-hoo! You are the winner of the second prize, the Midnight Vistas. Like I said, just leave a comment down below and send me an email. The email is in the description. But there you go. You are the winner of those. And I'll probably put a couple extra things in there as well.
Yeah.
Because I got some things from the Comics Pro event. We'll give you a couple of extra things. So that's pretty cool. Thank you, Clara, again, for sending those to us for the giveaway. This is one of my favorite books, so I'm happy to be sending these out.
And pretty awesome. So there you go. There's 2 prizes down. We got 2 more to go.
Awesome stuff.
All right, let's see. You are up next with the next comment from Wolf Warner.
All right, thank you, Wolf. He says, Key Collector app is awesome, but it sometimes takes some fun out of the spec research. I remember the days where you actually had to read the book to know what was going on.
That's a great comment.
That is a great comment.
Because I didn't really think of it until he said it.
Right.
And when he said it, I'm like, you know what? He's kind of right.
He's right.
He's kind of right. It does. The hunt is there, but it's a different type of hunt.
Yes.
Because now it's like, and I've had conversation with people like, man, I read this type thing, and I think this might be something. I don't have that conversation as much anymore because it's like it's already on the Key Collector.
Yeah, exactly.
So there is that hunt aspect that you get kind of lost. It's replaced with this type of hunt, which is a little bit different. But I do kind of miss it, to be honest.
I miss it too. And I remember in the 90s, right, when you had the big boom, this was one of the things that bothered me the most. You had a lot of people that started to come in, and they had never read the books. They didn't care about reading the books, and they started buying comics based upon the fact that it was going to put their kids through college. We've talked about that a number of times. Yeah. And that still is kind of in play today. It used to be that the people that I talked to were part of my tribe, part of my community. They read the books. They knew it was hot. They couldn't wait for these certain things to happen. And that was your speculation, right? I mean, it was purely based upon the love of characters, love of stories, love of different creators. And when you start using or are getting into comic books without that, you're not part of the tribe, man. You're just in it for the money. And so I hear you. I mean, I think you should be buying what it is hot to you and stuff that you've read and you understand what's going into it.
Yeah, I always think that you do have those buyers that are just buying for the speculation. I like to think that eventually down the road, these books are going to appeal to them. They're going to want to open them up.
I hope so.
That's kind of what I hope. Whether that happens or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But my theory is, if someone's just buying because they're speculating and stuff, and they don't even look at the book, they're sitting in their room one day and they're like, you know what? Maybe I should look at this book. And we know from our own experience that once we open a book and we're hooked, we're on it.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes. It doesn't take much. It just takes that one time to open that cover and you start reading, like, oh, okay, this is interesting.
Right.
So that's kind of my hope.
It is mine too. And and when I say what I say, and I don't want to cut anybody out from collecting comic books based on speculation, by saying, that's not part of my tribe. Really when it comes down to it, speculation is good for the comics industry. We had our discussion on that. And I think it's something that is beneficial. Yeah. But I would much rather that you read the books and you understand just how wonderful these things are.
Yeah. Okay, I got the next it's a long one. I don't know why I'm reading it.
Take one for the team, buddy.
Yeah, there you go. Something didn't work out here.
Right.
This one is from Sean Bobby. Awesome. Says, thanks for the question. I think there are pluses and minuses of the Key Collector app. I think everything that gets people buying books and supporting their local shop is a good thing. On the other hand, it encourages people to just buy books so they can flip them and make a profit. People buy books that they wouldn't normally get just because it's a key issue. But most of these types of customers probably don't read or care about the story. We were just talking about that. I find the hype of books like Batman 89 extremely frustrating. With a new arc, I have been trying to get back into the series. I enjoyed issues 86 and 87 and 88. And then all of a sudden I have to take off work to be at my shop at 10 a.m. or pay extremely inflated prices to continue with issue 89. I know having a subscription is a way around this, but I normally don't do that for a few reasons. Mostly because I love going to the shop and looking at everything. I guess as a fan of good art and good stories, and not necessarily a collector for investment reasons, I find the speculator Key Collector market annoying.
I have thoughts on this.
Okay.
All right. So one of the things, and we've heard Batman 89 mentioned throughout this,
A little bit. Kind of the talk of the week.
Exactly. and I'll just say this. I mean, are you upset because you couldn't get it on New Comic Book Day? Are you upset because you're not getting that first issue because it may be worth something?
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. Comic company publishers have been really good in recent years about coming out with the second, third print.
Yeah.
And you can get that a week later. So are you really upset that you can't read the story that week? Or is it you upset that you couldn't get that number one that everybody got the first print? And see what I'm saying?
This is America. I want it now.
Right.
It's America. I want it yesterday.
Yeah. But when something's hot, I mean, how many? I remember how many of those kids, that wanted the Power Ranger toys, and they were all sold out, and they had to wait a few months later, right? I mean, was it so bad that they had to wait a few months later?
Yeah. America.
That's the issue right there, right? So I'm just saying is that, I think when I hear a lot of people getting upset about the fact that they couldn't get the issue, right? I think, it's more about the fact that they couldn't get it on in the beginning.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that these companies are good about bringing out the reprints, so you are going to get the story.
Yeah. I think 89 is already in second print, if I'm
Yes.
not mistaken. You talked about the pull list and not having a pull list. A safe bet, like you said, is having it on your pull list.
Right.
A good shop. Not all of them do it. We've heard some horror stories and stuff. But I would hope that majority of the shops, if it's on your pull list, it's going to be in your box.
Right.
And it's going to be cover price. That's the safest thing to do. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
It's just not Batman 89. It's with every book that comes out that might have a little bit of either some speculation to it or a hot story or something like that. I mean, even the X-Men books that were printed, hundreds of thousands of copies sold out.
Yes, they did.
There's not really speculation behind that. It was just great story.
Yeah.
The Immortal Hulks sold out because of great story.
Great story.
Of course, they went and reprinted like 10 times, but there was no speculation. It was just great story behind that.
Yeah.
The best thing to do, put it on your pull list. Go from there. That way you have the book. There's other avenues we've talked about, digital and stuff like that. And it's not for everybody. It's not for me. Bob loves it. I don't know what's happening. But it's not my cup of tea.
Right.
He loves it.
Lord have mercy.
But, just to be safe, because there is going to be that flow of other people coming in to jump on this book, and if there's no limit at a store, they're probably going to try to buy them all to flip the book and stuff like that. It's just the market that we kind of live in, and it's been like that for a long time. So I would say, Sean, just to be safe, if you don't have a pull list, put one on there, just so you get those great books, because it's a really good story. I've been reading them as well. I've been on since Tinian took over. I've been reading every one. I haven't read 89 yet. I've just been kind of busy, but I've read every one. I loved it. I was really happy he took over from King's Run.
Sure.
Just kind of drug out a little bit too much. And to have Tinian writing that. So you don't want to miss out. And you know what? I'll tell you this. I don't think it's going to stop with 89. I think there's a couple issues down the road that are going to be in the same boat. And so you want to put it on your pull list.
Right. I mean, if you really talk about speculation, I think it's not until Batman number 92 that we're getting a first full appearance of right, and so it's just going to be cameo appearances going forward. But bottom line, you're exactly right. Start with your pull list. That's how I got my copy. Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't go out to I did call another store to see if they had the Matina cover, because I don't have that one. I wanted that one. But the reason why I was able to get my copy because it was already on my pull list, and the shop that we go to, I got it for cover price. It wasn't jacked up. They took care of their customers first.
Yeah. I don't think they know how to jack up the price.
I don't think they do either.
Okay, you're up next. You got
right.
the second to last comment here.
All right, 1 second. Got it. Here we go. This one comes from D Metz. Thank you, D. Brand new to comics, it is really helpful with what I would need to look for as far as key issues and relative pricing for them. I do see how it could be something that drives up prices and influences the market with speculation and hot keys. In this way, it acts as a double-edged sword for sure. I know that it has a huge influence on new comics that aren't even released. Currently, it put comics like Bang, Batman 89, and You're the Villain 3 on the hot list prior to the release. At least let the consumers get the book and start reading and talking. Instead, I can't even get them because of this wild speculation as influence. Thanks for the great content once again.
Okay. I've been pretty supportive about the Key Collector app.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just so for the record, I use it.
Yep.
I pay for the service.
So do I.
I enjoy it. But like you said, it is a double-edged sword. And I see exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
It does, whether indirectly or indirectly. Is that a word? Indirectly?
Indirectly?
I don't know.
Indirectly.
You know what I'm talking about. It does affect the price of a book.
Yeah.
And it does sometimes put a book that should be, affordable out of the range of some people. And that's just an effect on that. We've talked a lot about prices of books. Anyone can put a price on a book. It's the person who buys that book.
Absolutely.
I can put a price of $100 on a book and put it on eBay. I'm not the one at fault for putting $100 on there. If someone wants to buy that book for $100, they're the ones driving up the price.
Right.
I could put a price of a book on there, $100 that doesn't sell. Well, you know what? It's not worth $100. But if somebody buys a book and pays that amount, that's an actual value somebody puts on that book. That's how much it's worth.
Right.
The Key Collector adds to that a little bit. The FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff that's released on that Key Collector that you look every week. I gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. Whether that's a good or bad thing, I think a double-edged sword is a perfect explanation for that.
Yeah.
It is information, and it is information I think everybody should have. So I enjoy that aspect, but I do think some people do get carried away.
Yeah.
And I do think a lot of things get out of reach. I couldn't find Bang. That's a book I want. I couldn't find it because it got sold out, and I think one of the reasons is because of the Key Collector app. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to fault someone for giving me information.
Right.
And so the Key Collector does that as well.
Sure.
So the double-edged sword, meaning I see exactly what he's talking about. I see the negative, I see the positive, but the Key Collector is that's actually what it's supposed to do. It's doing what it's supposed to do.
We're doing what it was designed to do.
Yes.
And speaking about the issue of Bang by Dark Horse, when Key Collector alerted that, it was because of the fact that it gotten optioned way before it had ever come out.
Yeah.
And so people were, even without Key Collector, people would have been flocking to that book. But I think because of the fact that so many...
Do you think so?
I do think so.
Okay.
Because, people have been speculating on stuff before Key Collector came out. When X-Men first came out, all of a sudden, giant-size X-Men and X-Men number 94, those were spiking. And so people have been speculating on this stuff for a while. I think it's just more accessible now. And when you have something that's alerting you, right? And all of a sudden, it's like, oh my gosh, everybody knows about this now. I need to go out and and do something about this. And it does cause, that feeling of missing out, or that I need, like the first comment that we read, right? That he was living and dying off of what these alerts were doing, and he had to take a step back.
Yeah. I think it levels the playing field.
I do too.
I think that's kind of what people kind of miss. I mean, there was, and like Wolf Warner said, he kind of enjoyed that. And I did too. But what this app does, and not everyone needs to get the app, but it definitely levels the playing field. It provides the same information to someone who's maybe doesn't have the knowledge of a book that someone else does.
Right.
You have a lot more knowledge on Daredevil, okay, and what's in the books in the series,
Sure,
as compared to me. But with the app, guess what?
Right. Exactly right, though. But
so there you go.
But here's the thing, and this when I talked about how I use it to help out the comics community. Here's the thing, I don't have time like I used to be able to research a lot of this stuff.
Sure.
And some of that stuff has been researched for me. So I'll pop open that app and I'll find things that I don't have the time to go in and get the research done myself.
Yeah.
And because of that, when I'm looking for a book that's older, if I'm going to go to eBay to go check out to see if that book's there, I'll check it out through and see if I can do it through the Key Collector app first, because if I buy something on eBay and I use the Key Collector app to go there, they get a little money back.
Yeah.
And that's a way to help out Nick for helping out the community. Yeah. And so that's how I do it.
All right, I got the last one here. This is by Catherine Mitchell. And Catherine says, Key Collector app is a great asset to the comic book community. I feel it levels the playing field. I just said that.
Yeah.
It was implanted in my mind. For the small collector, and has definitely added value to my collection. Tell Nick thanks and great job. Well, I don't know if Nick's watching, but Catherine says thank you. She really enjoys the app. I would say, bottom line, I get where people have an issue with it. Okay, I think it's a valid point.
Right.
But like I said earlier, I use it. I pay for it. I'm not going to waste my money on something I don't like.
Right.
And if I'm willing to pay the $2 a month or whatever it is for the yearly subscription, I wouldn't do it if I didn't like it.
Sure.
And so on that matter, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
The one thing that I do, and I will tell people that this is how I use it. I always look at the books, and I don't look at the price. I look and say, and we'll say a price, say it says $10, that's what I won't pay for it. That's the way I look at it.
Interesting.
I look at a book, and it's like key book, and it says $10, and I go, okay, I'm not going to pay that price. But if I can find it for $1 or $3, that's what I do, and that's what I use it for.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what it's intended for.
Right.
Those are the selling prices that are on that app. Okay. I'm looking to get it for cheaper than that.
Absolutely, and I've watched you do it.
Yes.
I mean, we're about to go to the Frankenstein swap. The last Frankenstein swap, he found some of the most amazing books for pennies on the dollar that are selling for like hundreds of bucks.
Yeah.
I loved it.
That's what I do. I literally look at it and I say, that's not what I will pay.
Right.
And other people look at it differently. Like, oh, that's what I should pay.
For sure.
I look at it the opposite. That's not what I'm going to pay. And I want to pay less than half that.
Yeah.
If I can't get it for half that price, I'm not buying it.
There you go. He's the guru at it, I'll tell you.
I'm cheap, man.
I've seen it. I've watched it.
Final thoughts on the Key Collector?
I think this was a great discussion. Again, I think what you said originally in the very beginning that, it's informational.
Yeah.
And how you use that information is up to you. Stay informed. I'll always say, don't let your emotions drive your buying. Because that's going to lead to all kinds of mistakes and you getting disgruntled, with what happens. I think it's a great app. I think it helps out the community, and I think it's up to us to be responsible for what we do.
Sure. Well, I appreciate that. Like I said at the beginning, I'm not affiliated with Key Collector. I never have been. I've had Nick on the show. I've talked to him a couple times. I don't have any code or nothing like that for it. I'm just a customer of his, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just like you. So there
Absolutely.
you go. Let's go ahead and get to our third and fourth prize.
Yes.
And then we'll get to some other great stuff as well.
Sure.
But our third and fourth prize, our third one is the Shannon Mayer autograph. Shannon Mayer autograph. He sent that to us for the giveaway. And we're going to give that away right now. Where's my name right here? The winner of the Shannon Mayer autograph. This is the very first cover he ever did. This is a very spendy book.
Yeah, it is.
I looked it up. It's hundreds and hundreds of dollars. The winner is Billy Meadows. Billy Meadows, you are the winner of the Shannon Mayer autograph book. There you go. Just leave a comment down below. Send me your information. My email is down there. It's buellercomics@gmail.com. It's in the description. You are the winner of that book sent to us by Shannon Mayer.
Congratulations.
Very cool. Very happy to be giving that away. We will have that shipped out to you in the next couple of weeks. The last thing on here is our other giveaway, the last giveaway, which is the image. You want to hold that up? That's the image print that's autographed by all the image founders. We have Jim Valentino, Mark Silvestri, Todd McFarlane, Eric Larson, Robert Kirkman, a ton of guys. They've all autographed it for us. This is the giveaway. And the winner is Ed Blackwell.
Yes.
You are the winner of that. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ed.
Ed, I think we read his comments before.
We have.
So there you go. I also want to say really quick, the dark purple gold roses, if they're outside the United States, Bob said he's paying for it. For shipping.
There you go.
Right? But seriously, Ed Blackwell, congratulations. Okay, you can put that down.
All right.
You're the winner. Those are all the winners. Let me just kind of run down the winners really quick. The Max Pro Supplies supply pack, dark purple gold roses, the Midnight Vista autographs by Clara Meath, Cody Evans, you won those. The Shannon Mayer autograph book, Billy Meadows, you won that one. The image autograph print, Ed Blackwell, you are the winner of that one. So congratulations, everybody. Like I said, just leave that comment down there. Send me an email. We'll get everything taken care of, and we'll send this stuff out to you in the next couple of weeks. And appreciate everybody, man.
Yeah,
I mean, there was hundreds and hundreds of comments on that video.
For sure.
And it was a lot of work.
Yeah, for sure. And I also want to say thank you for everyone who went and subscribed to my channel, because that was part of it. Really appreciate you doing that. I am up above 720 subscribers as of today.
That's right, man. You're on your way to 1,000. And once he hits 1,000, he's got that same print, and he's going to be giving that away in his 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Probably some other stuff. I don't know, but I think he's mentioned he will add some stuff to it. But they'll have another chance to win that because he got one as well.
Absolutely.
So very cool.
Looking forward to it.
So awesome. Thank you so much to everybody for making the 2 years just a fantastic. I was very happy to be able to give away some really nice stuff.
Yeah,
Thank you
absolutely.
to the people who donated the stuff to us.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have to do that, and they did. And we're sending out some pretty cool prizes.
Absolutely, man.
The good news is the giveaways are going to keep on going because, like I said at the beginning of the video, we are partnering up with some other people and some publishers, and more than likely that we'll have some stuff to share with you guys. So
That is awesome.
some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. So let me set these down. We'll go ahead and do our final 5, and then we have some more information after that. That's pretty good. So let me jump on. I'll go ahead and go first. This is Year of the Villain, Hell Arisen #1. This is going to be a hot title next week. Number 3, maybe, I don't know. I got number 1. They had them on the shelf, so I picked it up. Then I got some oldies but goodies. Invincible Iron Man #24. Look at that. Can't get much better than that. Here's number 25. Number 26. Gotta show some old books every now and then. And number 27. Nice little run of Iron Man. I'm still working on my Iron Man run. I haven't updated it in a while. I need to, but I'm getting pretty close to filling up the whole 1 through 200. So
That's awesome.
very cool.
Great
Okay,
books.
you're up. Final 5.
Absolutely. So you show old books. I'm going to show new books. These are books that came out this week.
Okay.
Ton of great stuff this week, and I just a lot of great reading. So the first one is On the Stump by Image Comics. Really fun read. This one is Bang by Dark Horse. We were talking about that earlier. And then we have The Plunge, which is a DC Black Label, but written by Joe Hill. Really a lot of fun to read. And then we have Red Mother by Boom Studios. That was a lot of fun. I really liked that.
Yeah, I read that a while ago. I didn't tell you.
I know you did tell me though. And then this was my pick of the week this week, and it's Daredevil number 18. Chip Zdarsky and company are killing it on that book. There's my final 5.
Very cool. Some nice books. I haven't read anything. I've been really busy. It's been a lot of things behind the scenes that you guys aren't really aware of, but it's just been a really busy week. I'm actually kind of behind on some things. I'm hoping to get caught up this week, so if you guys are waiting for possibly some shipments or whatnot, they're going out tomorrow, and trying to get caught up. But those are great final 5. I didn't get a chance to read that Bang. I want to.
You're gonna there. That's for you
to read it.
to read it and to have it.
Now, oh, look at that! He's giving me stuff.
Happy anniversary, man.
Is it autographed?
No.
Oh, by the way,
But you were there with him.
That's right. The Matt Kent guy. I just talked to him yesterday. He's a good dude.
There you go.
He's a really good dude. Let me go ahead and tell you the subject for next week's thing. And this one's a little controversial, and I'm going to put myself out there.
All right.
And apparently I'm putting some other people out there as well.
Here we go.
They're friends of mine. Deal with it. Next week's topic is our weekly top 10 list, bad or good, for us collectors, including CBSI, Comic Tom, and myself also have a top 10 list.
That's right.
Those are the 3 ones that normally come out that people are aware of. CBSI has been around a while. Everyone is familiar with them. Comic Tom, everybody knows him. He's a friend of mine. And then mine as well. That comes out every Tuesday. It'll be out tomorrow. It's a top 10 list. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts on these top 10 lists. There's a variety of different styles and stuff, so you can be as elaborate as you want.
There you go.
I'm not playing favorites. I'll give my opinions on them. And whatever comments you want to leave, it's fair game.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. There's another top 10 list out there that I watch every week, and that's Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers. He's got a top 10
There
as
you
well.
go. Robbie does. You just did a show with Robbie.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
I was on Friday. It was
I
awesome.
crashed it a little bit.
Loved having you.
So that was pretty cool. So there's some great top 10 lists for different reasons, speculation, story, you name it.
Absolutely.
The more information you can provide, that's what we want to talk about.
Sure.
Some of them can be a little controversial and cause a little bit of backlash. I'm okay with that. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. And I'm looking forward to having that conversation.
I'm looking forward to having it too.
Yeah, it should be fun.
It will be.
I got to call Tom.
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to say thank you to the Patreons. I'm going to go ahead and run down the names that are signed up. We have a few people sign up this week. Hero and the Kid, Jack B, Steve Whiting, Comic Crazy, Derek Magnus, Scarped Comics Trek, JB from Discovery Bay, Giuseppe F, Bubs Comics, Two Brother Comics, Reggie Simmons, that's double G Reggie Simmons, Brett F, Speedy Showcase, that's Comic Ron, Adam D, Damien, that's Sleepy Reader 666, one of our fellow Pacific Northwesters, Robert, the Comic Book G-Spot Galvin, Pete C, Mike Rogers, he was my first, Jose A, Zach K, and John M. I think I got everyone. Mm-hmm. I'm trying my best. It's hard to find them all.
Yeah.
I look on the Patreon page and I have struggle finding who signed up. I don't know my way around it yet.
Right.
And I feel kind of bad because I need to put some stuff on there.
Well, there are a lot of great names right there.
Yeah, they really are. So thank you to all of them who's helped support the channel. Like I said, we're past 2 years. We're on our way to 10,000. We picked up like 300 subscribers in the last 10 days.
That's amazing.
And, because we hit like 9,000 subscribers like right around the 2-year anniversary.
Right.
Right now we're at 9,300.
Oh, man.
And that was just a couple weeks ago.
Closing in on 10,000.
So it's going to happen really quick.
That's awesome.
And to be in that 10K thing, I can take a break.
There you go. Not for too long.
I can take a little bit of break. But anyway, I want to say thank you so much to everybody for helping me celebrate the 2-year anniversary. Thank you to all the creators who sent this stuff in that we can give away. And thanks for all the comments that we had a chance to read as well. I thought that was a pretty good conversation to have about the Key Collector app and all the other good stuff. So just thanks all around. And all the comic shops that I met this weekend, thank you so much. I mean, from everywhere. Midtown Comics was there. I met with them. Some other people. It's just awesome. Like I said, I'll give you guys some more information as time goes on. But it's pretty interesting what's going to be happening.
I love it.
And Bob knows a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Anyway, Bob, why don't you tell me about your channel really quick before we go?
My channel is Everything Comics. I don't want to take too much time, but I have a new show on Thursdays. It's called The Weekly Rundown, and I get together with this guy, and we talk about the latest comic book, TV and movie news, and other pop culture news as well. Had a lot of fun the first episode, and I really can't wait to see what happens with that show going forward. But check us out, and then of course, we have the Having Comics with My Coffee, which drops every Saturday. It's another Portland coffee and comic show, and but I really appreciate you guys tuning in for all the subscriptions that you guys gave me, and I just love getting together with this guy and talking comics, and I hope to keep doing that going forward for as long as he'll have me here.
Very cool. Now the weekly rundown show starts at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but it never really does.
Thank you. This is true.
So it's a rough estimate start time.
I will get better. My first 2 episodes were rocky. Allowed to say that. How about that?
Next time, baby.
Next time.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You know what to do. We'll see you next time. Bye.